wanted to share some information with everybody that's relevant to our community that we should know that may not be covered by whatever the Intercept or news media or whatever liberal accounts we follow on Twitter or other social media with regards to our martyred brother Marcellus Khalīfah Williams. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him and raise his rank amongst the martyrs. Firstly, a person who is killed in dhulm, in transgression, that person is a martyr, and this is my belief based on the evidence that's very easily available, that this is exactly what happened to him, that his conviction was railroading, and that the governor of Missouri seems to be a man of extremely hard heart to push for his execution in the face of very real and very credible evidence that he was actually not involved with the murder at all, and in the face of even family of the victims not seeking the death penalty in this case for all of the weird accusations of barbarism and cruelty against the Muslims and against their Sharia, for having the law of retaliation in murders. In the law of Islam, if the victims, the awliya, the victims forego retaliation and capital punishment for murder, then the state has no right to kill a man. But here the state was gunning for it, despite the fact that not only the family of the victim of the murder didn't want him to be executed, but even the prosecutor in the original case wanted to stay the execution. The details, I'm not here to get into the details. That's all done now. Allah Ta'ala, fated him a fate, and he went forward to it. All I can say is Allahumma la tahrimna ajrahu wa la taftinna ba'dahu. It's the tail end of the masnoon dua for the Janāzah. Allah, do not deprive us of his ajr, of his reward, and don't try us after he's gone, which is especially kind of a scary thing that we should make dua for, because we failed to come to his assistance, but the decree of Allah Ta'ala was to come to pass. At any rate, I wanted to let people know that he did have a janazah. The Imam Mufti Asif Umar, who is a colleague of mine and a good man, as far as all of my interactions with him have been. I've been his guest in his masjid in Baldwin, Missouri, many times. It's the largest, if not one of the largest masajid in the state. And at any rate, he said that the janazah was scheduled today after Zuhr at 1:30, so the janazah is probably done, and then afterward people are coming to the burial in the cemetery. So he was very much loved and part of the community and loved by the community. Even though he accepted Islam, my understanding is inside, so he didn't actually have any anyone from the Muslim community who wasn't going to the prison for whatever reason. I don't think anyone knew him, but because of his deen and because of and I didn't know him, but just see the picture of him, he seems like a man of God, and he looks like all the pious and good people I've ever known in my life look like. He was not ignored, and his back was not turned on him by anyone from the community, because I know that these thoughts come through people's heads, especially in moments of despair. No one is forsaken by the Lord, and no one's forsaken by the Ummah. What I do wish is that I myself really only was introduced to the case maybe 2-3 days ago, and a person doesn't want to say anything or advocate for something on social media, especially if they have a platform, without knowing everything about the case, because oftentimes being impetuous with saying stuff or sticking up for things or raising a ruckus ends in and results in remorse and in regret, because people are easily manipulated. So it took a long time, even after having heard about the case very late, to start speaking up about it. And may Allah forgive me for my slowness to even get started with that, despite not hearing about it until it seemed like it was too late. This means that we have to come together and stop playing stupid games with one another, stop sectarian one another. We have to learn to agree to disagree about, and we have to learn to agree about and be able to advocate for those things together, which involves a certain degree of cordiality that's not there, because many of the leaders, the thought leaders in the Muslim community in America, they're completely out to lunch economically, and completely out to lunch politically, that because they have no platform of their own for they teach and talk upright amongst them and the learned amongst them. It means that everybody has to basically throw their hat into the ring in the peanut gallery of social media in order to build a platform over there. That building are very different than building an actual community. And so we need to wake up. We need to afford a place for those people who know the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the sacred law, whatever their maslak might be, whatever their school of thought may be, whatever their point of view may be, that those people that have someone to back them, they should be given some sort of autonomy to function in a community where they have to get along with people, where they cannot get rid of the people and the people can't get rid of them, but people have to work together, and then those people have to learn to communicate with one another and keep ties of cordiality despite their very serious reservations and differences of opinion on a number of matters. Hopefully those would be limited to fiqh, but even at some point they can creep into the creed as well, as long as we're able to agree to disagree about certain things, and those things are not so horrible that they're completely incompatible with Islam. We need to get together in order to be able to centrally advocate for these types of things. Otherwise, there are a number of vultures and jackals and hyenas out there that wish to pick our bodies apart piece by piece. The same vultures who rejoice over the killing of babies in Gaza and in Lebanon would be happy to kill all of us and take our property and to treat us as slaves and second-class citizens in this country. And nobody cares to stick up for a man who doesn't care to stick up for himself. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. The point of this message is to say that no, the Ummah did not abandon him completely, even if they weren't able to come to his aid completely. And this should be a wake-up call for us to strive harder and work harder in order to try to do something better with how we deal with one another and how we advocate on these issues, and how we navigate this stormy ocean of this dunya, which doesn't have any mercy on anyone just because they say my Lord is Allah. Rather, instead of trying to envision a future in which vultures will have mercy on us and not pick us apart, and jackals and hyenas will have mercy on us and not rip us apart, that's kind of what they do. That's what they were made for. That's part of saying that this life is a test. And, you know, we have to prepare for it. If we want Islam to enter into the homes of the people of this country, they're not going to want to accept an Islam which makes them act subhuman. They're going to want to have an Islam that enters into their house and bring them dignity. And as for the antagonist of Deen and the antagonist of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know this is a fact that some people are so spoiled, rotten to the core, that until strength is shown, they'll never relent. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us together and show us the way to move forward, to agree to disagree on things that we need to agree to disagree about, and to keep inside of our circle everyone who believes in Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to come to one another's aid in a way that pleases Him. وصلى الله تعالى على رسوله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.